Welcome back to Business Concepts for Life Scientists Strategy. This is Deb Dauber, and in this section I'll be talking to you about how to understand a scientific enterprise's value proposition, organizational context, and strategy when you're on the outside. Now, as students and as postdocs, you're probably pretty comfortable with evaluating an academic lab from the outside. You know to look at their publications, listen to their presentations, and perhaps peruse their website for more information about who they are, what they value, and what they would like to be doing. But how do you do this for a company? For this section, we're going to use as a case study the Amgen website. Now, Amgen is a very large publicly traded company, and I happen to know from experience with my job that they have a really rich website in terms of how much information they put up. So they're a great example to do today. However, any company that's publicly traded will have most of these components somewhere on their website, and it's really worth poking around more to see how much you can learn about companies you're interested in. Let's start with Amgen. First, I'm going to point out the About tab. The About tab has an overview of the company for Amgen. They have quick facts. In this case, they have mission and values. Many companies will also include their vision. They have a section on leadership where they'll tell you about their board of directors as well as their scientific advisory board. Now, if you're a scientist evaluating a company from the outside, you may or may not have a great sense of their business, but you probably can evaluate who is their scientific advisory board and do you think those are the right people to be giving them advice. Really, the next thing we want to know, though, is what is the what and the why. What is their technology? Why is it important? What diseases or problems are they trying to solve? Amgen breaks this into two pieces. The first is science, where they talk about their research and development strategy, their pipeline, their trials, and more. And the second is products, where they talk about commercially available products. I want to take a brief moment, go back to science, and show you the pipeline, because most companies will have their development pipeline at some point on their website. In this case, the pipeline tells you how many products are in development and in what phase, and if you click on it, it'll tell you a little bit about the drug itself. This is a great way to learn more about Amgen and what they're doing and where they are in their stage of development. What are some of the other tabs we have here? Careers, obviously, is a tab you're all familiar with. Careers is where you go if you're looking for a job. However, by looking at what jobs a company has listed, you also learn something about where they want to grow. Are they hiring research scientists or clinical scientists? Are they hiring regulatory experts or are they hiring commercial experts? This will tell you a lot about their near-term plans and what they're investing in at the moment. Partners will tell you something about who the company is partnered with. This informs not only what resources they have, but where they are in their life cycle as a company and what kind of a company structure they have going. Are most of their products partnered, and if so, with who? That will tell you a lot about their stability and their strategies. Media is where you'll find press releases. Some people will call this press. And if they're a publicly traded company, anything considered material to their value will be put out in a press release. So media is a great place to learn more about what the company has been doing in the past week, month, year, decade. Finally, investors. Investors like you are sitting on the outside of a company and want to learn more. And in the case of a publicly traded company, the company is obligated to share with them what they're doing and what they're trying to do. So let's go to their tab. Now, first I'll point out, because the investors are so important to the company, their tab has a lot of links back to some of the aspects we've talked about already. For instance, Amgen under resources has both leadership team, which we talked about, and pipeline, which we also talked about. Under news and events, let me move this over a little bit so you can see it a little bit more clearly. There we go. Under news and events, you can see they have press releases again. I want to talk about some other events. I want to talk about analyst presentations. In this case, we'll look at the events calendar, although we could have looked under presentations also. Here we have upcoming events, and here we have past events. A company that's publicly traded either has to or wants to, or some combination of the both, regularly present out to analysts what they're doing and what their plans are. Basically, what is their strategy? And this comes in a couple different formats. One would be just regular presentations to investors at investor conferences. That might look at like this Cohen presentation. And here you can see they're providing you a PDF of their presentation. Or there's also earnings calls. Once a quarter, the company will have an earnings call to report out to analysts. These are even better because not only do you get the audio of the earnings call, but included in their audio is the question and answer period with the investors. So you get a sense not only of what the company is reporting out to investors, but also what are investors asking in response. This gives you a great sense of what the business of the company is. Finally, I want to go to the financial section and show you SEC filings. Now, you're not going to see them here because I don't have it preset, but if we go to SEC filings, we'll go to annual filings, and eventually you'll see pull up 10Ks. And a company's 10K, or if they're just filing for an IPO for the first time, an S1, is a very long document. It's primarily a document meant to give financial information, but in order to understand the financial information, they also have to provide a lot of context around it. This is a very long, dense read, but it's probably one of the most comprehensive descriptions of the company's activities that you will find. Between the 10K, the analyst reports, and the investor calls, you will get a really good picture of what this company's strategy is and what their challenges and how they're trying to meet them are today. So that's my little walk through the Amgen website. I definitely encourage you to pick a company you're interested in and walk through their website as an exercise in learning more about them.